Okay, we are doing it. We are sailing on the Hudson. It's only one sail, but it's a start. We're pretty much dead downwind with about 10 or 11 knots of breeze behind us. Stan and Sapphire are a little bit further ahead. I'm not sure if we can see them or not. They're up there somewhere. I'm making averaging a little bit over 5 knots, which is pretty good. And in the off chance that I don't get to sail again later today, a friend of mine asked me to raise a toast to his dad, who never got the chance to sail the Hudson. So John, here's to you. It's not a beer, but it's what I'm drinking at 8 something or 9 o'clock in the morning. And cheers to you. I'm happy to be living your dream and mine. There's the scenery to the west. Over our shoulder, thank you Hoppin' Marina and Catskills. Wonderful couple of days of stay. There's the East Bank. Beautiful, beautiful morning out here. All right, stand by. Okay, it's Wednesday, October the 1st. It's, I think, 4-ish in the afternoon. We've been working our way down the Hudson. It's been a bit of a long day. The wind was dead behind us. It's still beautiful out here. The wind was dead behind us, which makes, dead downwind sailing without a spinnaker. I could have put a spinnaker up, I guess, but it made the angles a little difficult. So probably I sailed right from when we left, 8:30, 8:45 in the morning until 1:30, I think, at which point I decided that we still had 30 miles to go or something to get to our chosen destination, Garrison Yacht Club. And the winds were up and down and a little all over the place, so I decided the better thing to do would be to just motor. So that's what I've been doing for a couple hours now, is just motoring. Stan and Sapphire are behind us. Sapphire got out to a pretty big lead. He's not sailing at all. So he was ahead of us by a couple miles, but then he had to stop for fuel. Stan ran into some engine trouble, so I slowed down. He pulled into a local yacht club for half an hour to do some troubleshooting and got going again. And right now it looks like we'll probably reach Garrison at 6:30 or so tonight. Hopefully there's a tour of West Point tomorrow. Hopefully. But again, scenery is just amazing. There's houses, some really, really beautiful estate houses on both banks of the Hudson. And then if you look ahead, there's been a bunch of really interesting bridges, some architecture. There have been a couple of, I think maybe educational facilities, like universities that are perched on the edge of the Hudson. Maybe, I'm not sure, but it's been great scenery all day. And kind of looking forward to getting tied up. It's a little tired today. Okay, stand by. Just before 6 o'clock on Wednesday night, and we are in a really interesting stretch of the Hudson. I'll spin around here. So you can see we're in shadow over here on this side. I guess that's the east side of the river. You can see shadow and still some sunshine. Behind me, behind the boat, we've had to come in past a rather interesting little island with some navigational beacons on it. On the west side of the Hudson, we have this stunning steep cliff, I guess, hill. And we've had that on and off for parts of the day today. But what's most interesting right at this moment is that's West Point Naval Academy. What you can't see here, I can barely see it myself, is that there's an S-bend in the river here, which is what made West Point such a unique or such a useful strategic location. You can imagine without too much difficulty that the British fleet that might have been coming up from the ocean, from the Atlantic Ocean, trying to get into inland United States is going to come around an S bend where there's strong winds. They're going to be stuck in either some tide or some current or difficult winds, and the military is just going to shoot them in place mercilessly. Also, interestingly, just past West Point is a place euphemistically known as World's End, which always makes me think of something to do with Pirates of the Caribbean. But in this case, it's the deepest part of the Hudson River at 202 or 203 feet. Again, strategic for the military. Made it really, really difficult for early sailboats to make it up the river. And that's why I guess it was called World's End. So, interesting Hudson River facts. Okay, Wednesday night. We're at Garrison Yacht Club, directly across the river from West Point. And the noise in the background you can hear is there's a fucking train station here. So we've been chasing or being chased by trains all down the Hudson anyway. We've been joking that nobody needs white noise in our group because we've all become used to having trains. But it's something different to have it stopping at the, it's 30 yards, maybe 100 yards from where I'm tied up on the river. And I'm going to spin around again and show you all those lights. That's West Point. So what it lacks in services, it makes up for in cool factor. Okay, so it's 9:30 at night on Wednesday, and we were asked to leave Garrison because there's a ferry dock there. So Dan and I are carrying on, maybe to Haverstraw, maybe somewhere else, but look at that. This is what cruising at night looks like. There's the moon, beautiful bridge coming up, 155 feet of vertical clearance. Lovely night out here. So, here's another cool thing. I think in just a second or two, we're going to be able to see a train right by the river. Bridge. Not sure if you can see the stern light of Dan on stand just ahead of me. Freaking awesome.